start recording. Thank you. That's a good option there. All right. So thin provisioning, right? So that's a good way to, at least that's my belief here, and that's what thin provisioning is. Is to allow you to add hard drives at a later date, and you don't have to reconfigure the space to the users because you've already promised them the space. All right. You have received an escalated trouble ticket for a Windows workstation that displays an error message each time the user signs into Windows. The previous technician logged the error in the ticketing system and made a note that she was not familiar with the error message the system was displaying. What is the first step you should take in resolving this issue? Okay, so you got an error message. B, boot in the safe mode with networking. Disable all startup processes. Research the error message on the web. Call the customer and ask them to describe the error message. Okay, well, you have an error message, right? So to me, I would want to research what the error message is before I did anything else, right? Because it's telling you something, right? And it would be nice to know what that is. Because going into safe mode, that may or may not get you anything. Disabling all the startup processes and services, once again, we don't know what's going on. So I would research the error message. All right. Which of the following task manager tabs on a Windows system is used to display the processes owned by each signed in user? So this probably won't let me do it, will it? Let's see. I'm curious. Huh, that's terrible. This is Proctorio, huh? So the processes tab doesn't tell me anything, right? The users tab tells me all the processes that the user has, right? That's funny. You wouldn't think that you'd be able to do that, but I had to check. But it would be shown that you did that, but yeah, still, that's fine. In Windows 10, what task manager tab shows running processes organized by apps, background processes, and Windows processes? So that's our processes tab, right? B, yeah. All right, so what command can be issued within Windows RE to enable networking? A, no, D. Yes, good job, Evelyn and Josh. D, yeah. But I can see where you would think that IP config, right? Because that's dealing with the networking tree. So, but yeah, that's the WPE initialize. All right, which of the following Windows tools is used to measure how well software and hardware are performing by displaying statistics in real time? You just need to study. Take the quizzes. Performance monitor. Let's see, which of the following tools measure how well software and hardware are performing by displaying statistics in real time? All right, I like that. Yeah, because that's the only real-time monitor on there. So performance monitor. Good job, Josh. All right, what command can we use to check for file system errors? I like that question. Yeah, you just took the quiz. A, right? That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, A and D technically do, right? Josh, did it say D was the correct answer? Because I could see both A or D, depending on how you talk about file system errors. That's why I don't like this question. Because the SFC is the system file check, right? And it scans right. It was D in the quiz. Okay. Yeah. But the check disk does check for file system errors too. All right. We'll go with I am going to go with D, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the check disk is checking for the disk errors and things like that. So, but a little different file system. But so I'm going to go with D. I think that's what they're meaning. I don't like the question. Uh, a technician needs to configure a Windows 10 computer to start a background service automatically each time the computer is booted. Which of the following tools would allow them to do this, right? So, so we're talking services, right? We want to change it to automatic. So, right, so it's service console, right? It's dealing with the services. So a lot of times the answer is in the question. A lot of times. All right, if you suspect corrupt system files are causing issues, which command could be run to restore the corrupt files? See, well, yeah, I'm still thinking A with the system files. Um, let's let's do C and D here, and check this question mark, right? So R is for bad sectors. Okay, so that's one of the yeah. So it's just doing the bad sectors with the R. So yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so SFC scan now. Yeah, yeah. So A is our option. All right, Henry wants to create a bootable flash drive with Windows 10. He wants to use it in multiple computers to troubleshoot Windows 10 startups. What tool can Henry use to create a bootable flash drive in Windows 10? Uh, Windows Media Creation Tool, yes, right. All right. A technician is performing Windows preventative maintenance tasks on all computers in the organization. She wants a way to create a custom console containing only the tools she regularly launches and to distribute this custom console to each computer. Which of the following Windows tools will allow a technician to configure a custom console? D, right, the Microsoft Management Console. Yeah, MMC. All right. What command can be used to totally wipe a hard drive clean, including the partition system? Hmm. See, no, that starts the network. Remember, I can see where you would think that. Um, this one's a good one. I would go with A with disk partition. Um, because the boot record and BCD edit just edit the boot records and all that. So, but disk partition you can format, you can create and delete volumes and partitions, and right. So it's disk partition or disk part. So partitioning, I would go with A. All right, a user is attempting to launch a Windows utility from a command prompt, but is receiving a message stating the user must be an administrator in order to use the utility, right? All right, using the launch of Windows utility from command prompt, but receives a message that you must be an administrator. So which of the best explains the reason the user is receiving the message? D. As a standard user, could be, but right. So, but A is more, yeah, A is more appropriate, right? Because you're going to get that, you're only going to get that prompt if, in order to use the utility if the command must be run in an elevated command prompt. But yeah, well, I could go with D too. I mean, I mean, you would definitely get that prompt too if you're a standard user. So, uh, but it has to be run, it has to be a command that would have to be elevated. So that's why it trumps that, in order for D to be true, A has to be true, right? Whereas A can be true, but D doesn't have to be true. Too many questions, 1 hour is over. What is over late? I don't understand your question, Freddie. Is it too many questions to do in an hour?
I'm just saying you already like
Oh, we've been going a half hour, and not all of it's been on here. And
why
it's
you
been
said it's an hour for us to do it. Why?
right. Yeah, there's about 40 questions, right? 40 questions, right? You've got an hour. I mean, this is going much slower because, one, we've been doing this maybe, yeah, well, I'll have to look. I'll know exactly how long because it's when, we started recording a few minutes after it. But we haven't been going too long, and we're almost halfway there. Yeah, we've only been on this for 30 minutes, and we weren't doing this the first, 5 or so.
Yeah, it's a good information. I want you to go all of this. Like it doesn't matter. It takes 2 hours, so we can go on.
Okay.
We can go on.
All right. A technician is troubleshooting a Windows system in which an application works properly when the computer is booted in safe mode, but does not function when the Windows is loaded normally. All right, so works properly booted in safe mode, but doesn't function when loaded normally. So which of the following is most likely reason for this issue? All right. So it works in safe mode, but it doesn't work when it's fully loaded. Which one of these makes sense? Which one of these only occurs when it's fully loaded? Right. C, right? When it loads all the drivers, right? There's got to be a driver or something that is causing an issue that gets loaded when it's normally loaded. The page file system that exists in both safe mode and normal mode, so it can't be the page file system. If the application was corrupt or missing, it wouldn't work in the safe mode, and Windows does not have a file association for the application, it wouldn't work in safe mode either. So the only one that is an issue in normal mode versus safe mode is all the drivers get loaded then. All right. You can use what utility to convert two or more basic disks to dynamic disks. So what would we use? Right, D, we use a disk management tool to manage our disks, right? Users attempting to format a 4 terabyte hard drive using NTFS, but only has the option to format the disk with a size of approximately 2 terabytes. What is most likely the reason? B, right. Right, it's using the old master boot record partition scheme, which has a 2 terabyte limit, right? NTFS, it supports very large drives. The GUID partitioning system supports large drives, much larger. And then it doesn't matter about the extended or primary partition, right? So it's the MBR. All right, technician is troubleshooting a Windows computer experiencing slow startup. Which of the following steps should you take first to determine whether startup processes are responsible for the slow startup? All right, so backup data and reinstall Windows. Yeah, that's not going to help. Technician should permanently disable all startup processes in the system configuration. That sounds very promising, right? Technician should measure the time it takes to start the system using a normal boot and compare the time against the time it takes for the system to perform a clean boot. And the technician should disable all scheduled tasks in task scheduler and reboot. That'll only get the scheduled tasks. So I don't know, this permanently disable all startup processes. You definitely disable it. Wow. Yeah, permanently sounds kind of harsh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then you got the normal boot versus clean boot, and yeah. So I mean, I could go with this. Um, because of permanently, right, I don't like that, but I mean, you could definitely disable the startup processes and see if your issue went away. But obviously, going to the clean boot kind of does that too. Um, um, I'm torn on this one. A lot of wording on this one, but so I'm gonna go with C. We'll see if we're right. A technician mistakenly uninstalled an application that is crucial for the productivity of the user. Which of the following utilities will allow the technician to correct this user? Mistakenly uninstalled an application that is critical. C, system restore. Yeah, great. Component services is not going to help. We're not managing components. System configuration, we're not configuring the system. Computer management, you can do a lot of things with it, but definitely not restore an app. But system restore could restore the application. All right. What Windows process is responsible for authenticating users? A, yes. All right. LSAS. A, good job. Yeah. Sassy. Yeah. The advanced boot option screen can be displayed by pressing what key during the boot process? D. Right. Right. Advanced boot options, or F8. Oops. All right, today you turned on your computer after being on vacation for a week. You see the spinning white dots on a black screen. You decide that an update might be being installed, so you allow the computer to work for approximately 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you turn off the computer, oh boy, and then restart it, and it fails 2 more times. What tool should you use first to help repair your computer? Um, B, yeah, well, right, because, well, yeah, the BIOS isn't going to help us. Safe boot sounds like a promising one. The run the SFC scan now for Windows RE command prompt, that could work too. And then use startup repair, and that could too. So wow. Um, hmm, I, well, uh, wow, I'm torn. I mean, I could see all three of these being a good go-to, to just try. There's no harm in any one of them running, B, C, or D. Um, wow, not a great question here because right, if you boot into Windows RE, um, but to really get there, you kind of need to do D, right? So startup repair. And I would think that you'd kind of want to do that anyway because you were doing an upgrade, yeah, update. So safe mode probably won't get you anywhere. I mean, yeah, it's probably not the best option. And so I would go with D, just just because you're basically going to do this. I mean, it gives you the option of doing all of it. Don't restart. Yeah, right. Well, they turned it off, right? And then restarted. Yeah, definitely never do that. So I would go with the startup repair just because um, within there you can do C, um, but you give it a chance to repair and let Windows repair itself. It's probably a better idea to just let it try to do its own thing. Um, but yeah, definitely don't turn it off in an upgrade. But we'll see which one the book wants. Kind of curious. What Windows utility can be used to find out what processes are launched at startup? Okay, so, all right, so, yeah, C, yeah, C has it, right? Um, yeah, you used to be able to do things with the Microsoft Management Console. You could still put it in there, but C's the best answer. Once again, you got to go for the best answer. Which of the following Windows shows? Yes, it does. Yeah. Which of the following Windows commands will delete the files and directories at the destination location that no longer exist at the source location? Um, all right, so we'll delete files and directories at destination location that no longer exist at the source location. A, right? Yeah, because that's what the purge command does, right? So, oops, I don't know. I want that. All right, robo copy, right? And then we go to purge, delete destination files and directories that no longer exist at source, right? So I knew that one did that. And copy and Xcopy, they're only going to copy things, right? The /y is to enter Y, and this is like verbose, I think. And format, you're definitely not going to want to format. That's going to wipe everything. All right, so what command should you use to rearrange parts of files on the drive so they are contiguous? C, right, defrag. All right. User contacted you to report that an unwanted Windows application is launched each time your computer is booted. How can you permanently resolve this issue? D, yeah, that'll definitely resolve it permanently, right? Right. Yeah, uninstall it. Right. The others, task kill and stop the application, or even disable it. I mean, these are only temporary because it's still there. Yeah, definitely A and C. They won't permanently resolve the issue. All right, Windows computer is experiencing a problem accessing the internet. The network patch cable and network interface card have been tested and verified to be working. What steps should be considered next to resolve the problem? B, yeah. Yeah, definitely check the network settings. You may not, but yeah, it's probably going to have to update it. But yeah, if you have a working cable and a working network card, it's got to be some configuration settings, most likely, uh, or something outside of the computer, the switch itself or something. But all right, command creates a subdirectory under a directory. B, yeah, B, right. All right. What is responsible for getting a system up and going and finding an OS to load? B, startup BIOS. Well, and finding the startup BIOS. I'll go with that. I mean, they're going with right. So going and find an OS to load, right? Yeah, the startup BIOS. Yeah, because the boot manager that's going to find the boot drive and then hand it over, and then Windows going to take over from there. But the UEFI has to start up first, right? So I'll go with that. On a Windows computer, which tab can be used in Task Manager to set the priority given to a specific application or service? All right. I'm going to say it's the Details tab, right? So that we can set priority, right, under the Details tab. I don't think under the Process tab, yeah, you don't have that option, right? But yeah, the Details tab where you can actually get to each thread, and then you can give it a priority, and then or set an affinity if you have multiple processors. So Details tab. All right, Windows 10 Professional will not boot on Jackson's computer. During the boot process, the computer fails. While troubleshooting, Jackson determines that the graphical user interface did not load. Which file in the boot process is responsible for loading the graphical user interface and starting the client-server runtime subsystems? D. All right. D. All right. Sounds Sounds good. To be honest, I've forgotten which one that is, but yeah, that it was either the CSRS or the SMS, but that sounds correct. I mean, I know it's not the login, and what does that say? Then I don't know. Oh, SMSS. Yeah. Yeah. SMSS. Yeah, it's pretty hard to read, I can see. All right, registry files, if deleted, can be restored from those saved in what folder? So where are registry files backed up to? System config, reg back. Yes, that is correct. System 32 config is where the registry lives, and then the registry backup goes in the reg back. All right, Eric is working on a computer that has a device driver error. Eric can find the name of the device driver, however, the actual device is not available. Unfortunately, Eric does not have access to the internet. Where can Eric go to look up the device driver's file name to determine what device uses the device driver? All right, there's a device driver error. Can't find the name of the device driver, however, the actual device is not available. Does not have access to the internet. File name to determine what device is used. No guesses? Windows system. Let's just see. Is it in systems? It's not, is it? Right? So it's not in systems, which I didn't think it would be. There's too much in there. I knew that was going to be bad. All right, so you Windows drivers. Yeah, System 32 doesn't have enough. It has too much, right? All right, so there's no drivers. But there is a drivers. All right, so System 32, where most everything lives. That's almost always a good fallback. And so the Windows drivers doesn't exist, and the systems driver doesn't exist. Windows BCD not going to help us find the drivers. All right, under the advanced options screen, what startup options should be enabled in order to view what did and did not load during the boot up? All right, so under the advanced options screen, what startup options should be enabled? Right, okay. Yeah, boot logging, right. So yeah, we want to log what happened on the boot. So very good. Yep, we'll go with that. Why does a normal hard boot take longer than a normal soft boot? Hey, yeah, exactly. You got to do the initial steps in the BIOS UEFI for the normal boot, the hard boot, and the soft boot, you skip that. All right. Sarah installed Windows 10 for the first time on her computer. During the installation process, she noticed that a new system partition called ESP partition was created. She cannot access this new partition to see what it contains. What can you tell Sarah about the ESP partition? D. All right. It's created by GPT to store Windows boot and startup files, right? So yeah, it wasn't stored for the OS files, that's for sure. It wasn't created by MBR. It's created by Windows to store the Windows OS files, right? So that's the same as A, right? So you can see that A and C can't be true because they would both be true. Well, Windows created it or GPT. So yeah, D is our best answer. And then our last question, a user wants to make sure he can quickly restore his computer after a drive failure to the state it was and when Windows and all its apps were initially installed. Which backup type will be most useful in this scenario? C, right? C, right? System image restores everything, Windows and files, everything. Yeah. All right. So let's see how we did. All right. Okay. All right. So we got one. What did we just say? We missed one or two or so. Let's see here. All right. So let's just do this. I'll copy this into a Word file for everybody. I'll put it out there. I was just curious which ones we missed because I want to keep everybody here. Oh, answer checklist. So, so it was the check disk R for the system files, file system error. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't like that question. I might actually remove that question because I don't like it. But so check this R. And all right, use safe mode. So you were right. You were right to use safe mode. But like I said, I could have done I could have done B, C, or D. I definitely don't like this question. Yeah, I mean, if it's not rebooting, the startup repair would be fine to run. Safe mode, that's fine too, but to be honest, I wouldn't know what you would be able to do as much as if you could do with C and D. Can be used to find out what processes are launched at startup. What? Okay. I definitely don't like that because the task manager shows you the startup too. It's right here. System config. Why is that not moving? System configuration. Yeah, yeah. Go to the task manager. That's what I thought. So the book is wrong. It's actually C. So that is funny. Okay, so I don't feel so bad. These the questions that we missed really are bad questions. So I don't like the book's answers. I really don't. But all right, so that's an example exam. I'll go ahead. Like I said, I'm gonna grab this and I'll throw it in a Word file for everybody to review. It's 40 out of probably 120 questions. You can, but you can also see I'm not perfect either. Of course, I don't go by book answers a lot, but so I'll save this up. I'll have to get rid of the graphics, otherwise it'll take forever for it to load and save. But I'll post that up so everybody can review. But really, you can do the same thing by taking the quizzes. Take the quizzes over and over. You'll see these same questions, right? But I'll put this exam out there for you to review, so you can review 40 questions pretty quick. It's an example exam. And we'll probably do another one on Thursday. For a formal review, since I told everybody that we would do a formal review on Thursday. So I'll do that again. But anybody have any questions? No? Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have for today then. If nobody's got any questions, please stay safe and make sure that you're studying for the exam. But appreciate all your time, and I'll see you on Thursday. Thanks.